have to be better. I'm not lagging. Woohoo! Hey, Paula. Looks good. Hey, interesting. Oh, wait. Way better. Okay, good. I'm trying to see the lag time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 seconds. 10 seconds is not bad. Hey. Okay, so, hey, Bannerman. How's it going? Hey, Jackie. I thought you're gonna take care of the baby. Why are you unhappy still? Okay, so, just want to catch up. I was at Jackie's broadcast, but I meant to do my own broadcast because so much happened last week, and I had to get my Twitter account back. I got scammed. I have a new format in my Cantonese broadcast show. I have my work I got to deal with. I have 2 kids that I'm going crazy. I'm not really that crazy, but but yeah. Let's see who's here. My husband just took the baby upstairs. Good for you. You have a husband who would do some work, right? So I want to have another screen on the side of me just to see who are the comment baby busy schedule. Well, that's me, right? That's me. So anyway, so 8 live chats. And look at the data here. It's interesting. I have 14 viewers on Periscope. Here it says I have 9 live chats. So the viewer counter is definitely off. You got a lot going on, yes. But hey, J Opera, how's it going? So my printer is just printing stuff by will. How you guys doing? So I made a broadcast yesterday, a couple days ago, about my whole experience having my Twitter account hacked by someone who's promoting cryptocurrency. And at the same time, I got scammed by the internet of someone allegedly being able to help me to get my account back because Twitter was not helpful initially. So I lost money, $70, and that was no help. Luckily, I found someone I know of, and he used to work in Twitter. So the person actually helped me got my account back using special channels. So that was a full scope, and you can watch it in Periscope and also in Habs and also in YouTube if you follow me on either of these platforms. By the way, Periscope is going to shut down in March. So if you haven't followed me on Habs or YouTube or Twitter, you should already do that. So yeah, just a little update of the whole hack and scam saga. I received a call from PayPal. Hey, Blaine. And I was trying to report the person who scammed me the money. And because the scammer was really smart and he exploited the loophole in PayPal, because if you were to send money through friends and family, you don't have protection against fraud. So that was stupid on my side, but I basically sent an email to PayPal and telling them this account needs to be reported. This person is scamming, and he's using PayPal's platform, and he found a loophole that he can get the money and get away of it, get away from it, right? So this PayPal person, customer service, he contacted me by phone, and we had a conversation, and I was trying to explain to him, I know it's my fault, but I want to know why there is a loophole that the scammers can exploit, and what are they going to do with this person who's scamming money. Because if they scam me money, I'm sure they can scam other people's money, and I want to stop them from using PayPal to do it, right? So, I mean, on PayPal's side, they said they are looking into it, but they didn't tell me exactly what they're going to do about it. And I think they want to wait for maybe a couple more reports on this account before taking action. Welcome back, Mark. I think my face is okay now. And so I'm just sharing about my experience of my Twitter getting hacked and how I got scammed. So PayPal was nice. There was a person who called me. I really liked that customer service. I was scammed $70. There were 2 transactions. And so I didn't ask for money back when I was talking with PayPal. I was telling them basically, okay, so they found a loophole. I can't get my money back, but I do want you to investigate in this account, and I want you to stop this account from scamming other people. So glad you were able to restart. Yeah, so right now it's fine. So they said they would look into it, but they said as a courtesy, they would refund me half of the money that I got scammed as a gesture, as a kind gesture, right? So I told them I don't really need the money to begin with, but if they're refunding me half of the amount, of course I'm going to take it. So now the total damage of this whole scam is from $70 to $35, which is less of a damage. But again, it's not the money that matters. It's just like how this whole week was consumed by the hackers and the scammer, and me needing to go talk to my credit card company, PayPal, Twitter, and it was an energy sucking from my side, because I had to focus on getting these, yes, American dollars, man, on Twitter hack. Yeah, I know. So it was an experience that I've definitely learned my lesson. I didn't buy any goods. Someone offered me a solution to my Twitter hacked problem, and I stupidly believed him. Hate scammers, right? It's not the money, right? Who had the better customer service? Well, it's hard to compare because I'm not comparing like Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, they're all the same, right? So you're not going to get to talk to anyone unless you're paying them a lot of money as an advertiser or anything. PayPal is different. They need customer service because they're dealing with money in and money out from their users every single day, right? So I'm happy that they gave me back half the money that I was scammed, even though it was a loophole, even though I agreed to their terms and condition. But I think it's interesting to learn about these rules of engagement on online platforms, right? Wait, so the $50 person was a hacker. $50 person. What $50 person? I bought a bad experience. Well, I learned from my lesson. Right? So internet security is something everyone should be aware of. Scammers are getting better and better at their art when it comes to online scamming. And us regular people, right? We really need to learn and be better at protecting ourselves, because internet is a necessity. It's not like we can be detached from it. And so it's not like we don't need online banking. You know, how many people can be truly off the grid, right? Did the screenshot help Twitter identify them? I'm not even talking to Twitter identifying the scammer. There's no point doing it, Brenda, right? But I will tweet it out later, and so people can know about it. But it's such a big space anyway, you know. Mark is doing great customer service right now. Did they actually hack me? Yes, they took my account, and I had to use back channels, people I know from Twitter to get my account back. You said you were going to pay someone 50 to help fix the problem. Yes, that was the guy. That was the guy. He's actually the scammer. So you need to go and watch my previous scope to know the full jizz of the story. It's lagging. I see myself okay here, so I don't think it's that bad right now. Total pain in the ass. Tell me about it. Yeah. So I had to get drunk. I had to get drunk for one night just to ease the pain. But I'm back. I'm back, right? So I didn't get drunk. I just drank a little bit more than I should. Like cutting in and out of Periscope. I'm looking at Periscope here on the side of my computer, and I look fine, Neil. Hey, Kansas City, how's it going? What's interesting in this broadcast is I'm looking at my comments, and there's a good bunch of people watching from Habs. There's still a lot of people watching from Periscope or Twitter, and I really need to remind you to either go onto my YouTube or Habs platform to follow, because I'm going to be gone after end of March. Good to see you sober again. Well, can't remember the last time I scoped being drunk. But hey, what do you think about my new logo, my new icon? Nobody is commenting on my new icon. I cannot believe you guys not noticing it. You went out and came back. But I see you're fine here until the end. Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to stick until the end, I get it, right? Periscope's still the best viewing, so I will wait until March to switch. I know, I'm just reminding you guys to follow me, because I will be scoping till the end in Periscope, but then there's always going to be a time that, you know, Habs. Yeah, it is utterly clear that they are pouring themselves into this venture. These small team is everywhere. Nobody else does this type of service, right? Periscope is not gone. Periscope will be gone. Yeah. Right. So I have help. I actually have help on the live streaming production side of my own brand, I suppose. And a good person decided to give me this logo. Do you see it? Maybe I should just put it on my screen. Upload an image. Let me see if I can upload an image. Right? Wait. Hey, where's my logo? Hey, here it is. I can use these functions that, yeah. So this is my, wait, I'm pointing this way. This is my new icon. What do you think about it? Well, I use Twitter Live. Yes, I will be using Twitter Live. Hopefully it works. What do you think about my new icon? Right, so we see Tor logo. What do you mean Tor logo? I love the logo. Just didn't realize it was new. It is new because I think my friend was like, you need some rebranding, John Ho. And then I'm like, okay. So he designed this, and then I was like, oh, I like it. And then I'm using it on my Twitter profile, on my my Cantonese Facebook page profile. I'm using it on Habs. I'm using it on YouTube. Your, not Tor. Oh, wait, what were you saying originally? We see your logo. Oh, okay, great branding, buddy. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, it's simple. It's it's memorable because I think I've been wearing this baller hat and scoping in Periscope for quite some time, and people do recognize it's part of me. So yeah, take some time to adjust to your logo. There's nothing to adjust to. You just have to like it. Right. So that happened. That happened. And there's a little drama with a periscoper in Hong Kong, and this is something that I also retweeted on Facebook. Sorry, I retweeted on Twitter. Good logo. You need a red bowler hat now. Well, it's just it's a color thing, right? Dean, thank you anyway. So if people are following my Twitter, I made a tweet about this person called Hong Kong Hermit, or HK Hermit. Anyone here know about HK Hermit? Because he's a very he's a political activist who used to base in Hong Kong, and Jonathan JK used to have some beef with him over internet. The logo is very me. Thank you. So this guy is also someone I met in real life a few years ago, introduced by Penguin 6. Watch JK today on Hermit. I haven't. Hey, Kevin. So HK Hermit is a white British who has been living in Hong Kong for many, many years. I don't know his full-time occupation before the political movement, but I think he was teaching English or something. He had a wife. He was divorced. He told me this when we met, right? And it was a blur because it was such a long time ago, and we were having fish and chips. Remember, there was this place that Penguin 6 would rave about in Hong Kong for their amazing fish and chips. So I think it was a day I was happening to be in the neighborhood. Penguin was asking me if I want to try out this place for fish and chips, and there's also this other person who's streaming that's called HK Hermit, and I was like, sure, let's eat fish and chips and meet another scoper. It's not even beef, it's manipulative and twisting of almost everything. Who's doing it? It's not in the topic of your scope, but how do I access Twitter Live? Neil, I think you just have to follow me, and there's a button that you can press and go live with it. There's nothing special about it, as far as I remember. Although the interface is slightly different from Periscope. You remember fish and chips, right? Not in Wan Chai, it's in mid-levels, Kennedy Town. Bowler hat, aka derby hats, are my favorite. Fedoras, right? This was gifted from a friend in a drinking session. Anyway, so watching from Arizona, awesome space jump. So I met with this HK Hermit one time. I don't recall anything negative about him, but I don't recall anything positive about him either. So that was that, right? Hey, Alex. And so later on, I follow him on Twitter. And when the political movement started again, because this was after the umbrella movement and before the new, protests with the people and the policemen and China, right? Fish and chips with malt vinegar, good, right? This is when Jonathan JK and HK Hermit already started having some beef over Twitter. Yeah, and so I don't know what they were fighting about, but I really wasn't paying attention because Jonathan JK has a way to trigger people for fun or whatever reason, right? And so they were just yelling at each other on Twitter. It's very typical Jonathan JK. Now, the reason why I was interested about HK Hermit is because he would go into the front lines of these protests, and he would really be with the other Hong Kong people, confronting the police. And I don't know what to think about it, because first of all, he's a British, right? So he's not really Hong Kong, okay? And second, he's a white guy. And this is almost like a domestic affair. And because his profession is not a journalist, he doesn't work for any newspaper or any media outlet, he's streaming this, being on the same lines of these Hong Kong protesters, but I'm not sure what his motives are, right? So, so he's very provocative. He would say like, "Fuck you, the police. Fuck CCP." Like he's very, and he's like he's very emotional. And I remember watching a few of his scopes, being, wow, this guy is almost trying to, trigger the police to do something to him, because, if I'm on the other side, I would be like, what's this dude doing here? And so I don't know what to think of him. I don't know what to think of him. If you look at his tweets, he's just very like the left wing activist. I won't say he's an extreme activist, but he's definitely not timid. Let's put it that way, right? And so this is a Hong Kong domestic affairs, and he's spending a lot of time, just on the streets with the kids, with the Hong Kong protesters. So that was that, right? But I was never interested in I was never too interested in these movements anyway in Hong Kong. I talk about it because it's where I'm from, but I'm not a political guy. I'm in Twitter Live now. I can see you, Neil. And so that's it, right? And I know he has some beef with Jonathan JK, but there's a lot of people who have beef with Jonathan JK anyway, so whatever, right? So last week, while I was having this whole meltdown with my Twitter account being hacked, I came back and I noticed Jonathan JK retweeted something about someone else accusing HK Hermit of what's the word I should use? Child sexual harassment. So you can go to my Twitter feed and look at that tweet, exactly what happened. But basically, it's a guy who took in Hong Kong Hermit for a couple months at his own home, because Hong Kong Hermit was allegedly suffering from some depression and he was trying to kill himself. I don't know. I'm just paraphrasing what this guy said. But during a dinner or during an occasion, Hong Kong Hermit said something really, really out of line, and this person couldn't take it anymore. And so he decided to kick him out of his place. This was 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago. Thank you, troll account. I think that's a proper explanation. What's a proper explanation? So I was like, whoa, who's this guy? Why is he accusing of HK Hermit of such acts, right? And then Jonathan JK definitely chimed in. And then I was like, okay, I don't know this person, but Jonathan JK might know a little bit more, but I definitely want to warn people of Hong Kong Hermit, because I just find him weird to begin with. Aren't we all suffering from some form of depression once in a while? Um, yeah, I'm not saying he has a problem because he's suffering depression, but what are back channels from Twitter? How lagging am I? I feel like you guys are not even following. Hmm. I need to listen to myself. Once in a while. Not that far back. Or maybe there's just a separate conversation going on in Periscope. Should I continue the story, or this doesn't interest anyone? It's very strange when there's a 15 seconds lag time and there's a conversation about something else, which is not something I'm talking about. Maybe like people don't have interest in this. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Long story short, right? We can't see Hab's comment and there is a lag. Right. Okay. Okay. So anyway, there's a back and forth of a tweet storm between HK Hermit and this guy, this accuser. And so it's very, like, the accusations are very severe, right? So Hong Kong Hermit is definitely trying to revert in a way. He wants to dismiss this, but he's not saying this person is lying or anything, right? Hong Kong Hermit is just saying, I don't know what this person is talking about. I'm just going to go offline for a while or something like that. Now, the interesting thing about this HK Hermit person is he's a very dominant voice in the whole political movement in Hong Kong because of his actions, because of how active he is on the Twitter space with the political movement. And I think there's also a Telegram group he's actively involved with, right? It's okay, Space Trump, but it's just there's a lot of comments going on, but it's not relevant to what I'm saying. So, hey, Rodman. So basically, a lot of people know Hong Kong Hermit, and a lot of people follow him because they think he's a beacon of hope of Hong Kong's political movement, because he's so vocal about democracy, because he's such a brave character when it comes to calling out the police, calling out the police brutality, calling out CCP. He's almost like a soldier of the democratic movement in Hong Kong. So a lot of people, in fact, not knowing who he is, not seeing him in real life, look up to him and follow him on Twitter and also other platforms, right? After JK's explanation, I retweet follow Hermit on Twitter. He was good 2 summers ago for seeing live the protests. Provocateurs, perhaps, yes. And so if you talk about his accomplishments on this whole political movement side, I guess kudos to him. Is what he did a hanging offense? I would say no, but he needs to mind P's and Q's. P's and Q's. Sorry, I don't understand that. Right. So this, obviously, I don't know this person who's accusing HK Hermit, but I don't think he's making it up either, because he's also putting himself out there for people to judge, to criticize. And so now there's like a series of tweets going back and forth between HK Hermit, who has blocked this guy, and people are trying to figure out what's happening. Means mind your own business. Oh, okay. Thank you, Paula. Right. So what's the takeaway from this, right? This person who's accusing HK Hermit met him through the political movement. He sympathized him because he was vulnerable, he was suicidal, and he took him under and he brought him into his family, according to what he's saying, right? And he found out that he's actually not. There's a different side of him. Let's put it that way. Be on your best behavior. Okay, thank you. Beacon of hope, but is he a pillar of truth? That's another thing, but that's a good question, right? And so when the accuser found out that Hong Kong Hermit is allegedly talking something that's defined as sexual harassment to his daughter, this is when he couldn't stand it anymore, and he has to call him out on Twitter space, right? So let's just assume this whole story is true. Okay. Now, why do I want to say this? Is because I find freedom warriors or political activists such as Hong Kong Hermit himself very interesting in a sense. Like, if you have a real job, if you have a family, if you have a life of some sort, I often wonder, why would you put yourself out there, spend so much time on Twitter, spend so much time on the streets to fight for something that is not necessarily your war to fight? Because, like I said, he's not from Hong Kong. Yes, he lives in Hong Kong, but he's not really a Hong Kong person. So I don't understand what is the motive of him throwing himself out. Like, what is the motive here? He's an ideologue. Like, why does he have such strong ideas on democracy? Why does he think this is so important for Hong Kong people? You know, like, I'm puzzled by his actions and his motives, and I wonder, like, what is he doing when he's not fighting for this political movement? You know, Paula says, why didn't he call the police? Why Twitter tweets? Well, because number one, I think he left the country. He left Hong Kong. So even if he were to call the police, there's no evidence to prove what he did was actual, right? Because it's just words. Hold on. This is wife. I have to pick up the call. Hey. With shell. Yes, with shell. Yes. Thanks. That could be his job. No, he doesn't make money from it. Why don't you ask him? I don't want to have any contact with him. Unless it's recorded. It's more like he said, she said, BS, I agree with you. Right. Don't engage if you can't take it to the finish. Okay. Right. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the comments here. So let's go to Twitter with protest signs. Maybe I should do a share screen here. This is a good time to wait. Is there a share screen function here? Let's go to Twitter with protest signs and protests. Present. Application window, Chrome tab. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. I'm just going to play around. you can have a better idea. Right. So I'm going to share screen. Because someone was asking whether he wants to do a Patreon, and he says no. Although the action cannot be performed at this. Oh crap! What happened? Hello. Okay. Am I back? Hi, I'm back. Let me see here. Okay, well, that was a mistake. I wanted to share my screen of a different Chrome tab, and it crashed. Yikes. I need to do another broadcast about HAPS because I'm torn by the experience. Jack is punishing us for the wrong thing. Right. Can you guys see me okay now? So sorry, I wanted to share with you the Twitter feeds, but I don't think it's easy to do it. Try use StreamYards. StreamYards, it's way superior, Kevin, when it comes to multi-streaming. Their functionality is just very, it's very solid, and I wish HAPS would be the same. Unfortunately. Okay. So hey, Montreal, how's it going? So anyway, I'm just curious. I'm just curious to know who this Hong Kong hermit person is. He left Hong Kong without telling people when or where he left. He's still fighting on Twitter about this democratic movement for the Hong Kong people, but StreamYard is another platform that I can use to multi-stream. So basically, for me, it's like you don't know what the person is, even if you follow his or her tweets, even if you watch his scopes. There's always going to be another side of that person that you don't know until you sit down and have dinner and like share these intimate moments, you know. I think that's a takeaway. That's a takeaway. Like, you know, we all have a certain perspective of a person, you know, that we have a connection with in the internet. And I have this experience many times because I've met a lot of people through Periscope, you know, no action, all good things, right? And so my way of thinking is, you know, don't be surprised if there's someone you're following on Twitter, on Facebook, and all of a sudden you hear these stories about him, or don't rush to defend him because you think he is of that person, because chances are you don't really know the whole story of this person that you've been following, right? Even if you share intimate moments, you can never be really sure. How many times were you disappointed when you actually met people you follow and liked? Paula, that's a good question. I think I'm only very few, there's only a very few times that I was disappointed on the people I have met in Periscope, right? Because I think I'm quite sensitive with people, and unless I'm genuinely interested in that person, I won't initiate the contact or the meetup, right? So it will take me quite some time to feel that person is worth meeting or worth knowing off screen, offline. So I have to say my experience is overwhelmingly positive. But it goes with every relationship that I have, even if there are offline, with colleagues, with just people I met in random scenarios. You know, it takes at least more than a few times of chatting, of hanging out, of doing different things to know the true character of that person, right? And you also have to be good at knowing and telling. And so, I mean, for me, because I've only met HK Hermit once in real life, knowing what has happened, I'm not 100% convinced he is what is being accused of, right? But at the same time, I'm definitely very, very aware. Like, I would be very cautious of engaging with him online or offline, you know, because there's no one backing him up. Like, usually, right? Let's say if someone has a reputation, if someone is in a certain social circle for a while, right? And suddenly someone decides to accuse, let's use me as an example, right? Someone in the internet accuses me of doing something really, really bad, right? And they claim they have evidence, or they have some sort of evidence. Now, I would assume there are people that I trust and I have good relationships with to come and defend me, and they would have enough weight to say, these are false accusations, and unless you have proof, you need to be careful of what you're trying to say, right? That's what I would assume if I were being accused of, but I don't know, right? But I would say I have enough friends and people that would be on my side when I need their help. Not everyone has that privilege, but in this case, I can't see anyone backing HK Hermit up, right? I can't see anyone saying, well, I know him as a real friend in real life, and I know this is impossible for him to do such thing, right? So if you don't have people to back you up, and then you have accusations of this sort, then it becomes a very messy situation, right? It's almost like, well, then who am I supposed to believe? Like, you know, the accuser, or, you know, the person being accused. Is Hermit a loner? I don't know, but I suppose if let's assume this is the case as well, that if the accuser is saying he actually took him into his house to live for a month or so out of sympathy, right? Then I don't think they're good friends to begin with. You know, they're just like, oh, you know, they just met over this political movement because they're both like protesters. So I don't think HK Hermit has a lot of friends, right? In real life. Again, like, That's why for the Periscopers that I have known in real life, we bond a lot more than people that I haven't met in real life. I'm not saying I don't have good relationships with, let's say, Jackie or who's a good one that I follow all the time, but I haven't met, or it's not popping into my mind right now. But yeah, like for Dr. D, for JL, for Keizo, for David, you know, a lot of the Periscopers that I have met in person, we definitely bond better because of, you know, the physical meetups and all that. But so yeah, you know, again, I'm not accusing, and I'm not saying, oh, this accuser is saying the truth, but there's a lot of things to ponder and be like, okay, this is an interesting thing to look at. So I tried to share the screen, but I couldn't do it. If you're interested in following what's happening, I retweeted it in my Twitter feed. So it's John M. Ho, and you can follow my Twitter and check it out. But that's something I want to share with you today as well, because I thought it's an interesting thing that happened this week. I also want to talk about Clubhouse. Is there still people watching this? There's still quite a people watching this. Guys, I want to make an announcement, but I don't have a time or date yet. I mentioned Clubhouse, the new app that is audio-based. It's a social media platform that people come together and chat on a specific topic. And I really want to give it a go in terms of moderating a room and hosting a topic. So I'm talking to David Nosaka, and maybe we'll also get like John from Taiwan. So I'll let you know which day this week that we're going to do a room. We're going to host a room on Clubhouse, and if you can, and if you're interested, then you can maybe join us. Now, the criteria are you have to have an iPhone because the app is in beta version and it's only iOS ready. But if you have an iPhone, if you're interested, can you DM me on Twitter and I can send you invite to join the app, because now I think it's still by invitation. So I have 3 invitations, but I'm reserving it for people who want to jump in and listen to this room that we're creating later this week. So follow me on John M. Ho on Twitter, okay? And send me a DM and say, hey, I want to have an invitation for Clubhouse, and I'll send one to you after getting your email. Yeah, I have to have your email at least. And let's give it a try, okay? I don't know who's interested, but I'm offering you guys this thing. Okay, so how do you keep getting invitations to share? The more I use the app, the more invitations they give. And usually I give a new batch every week or something like that. So I have been using the app. I have been listening. I have been trying to engage with people, trying to learn what to do with the app and all that. It might fit in quite well to the content that I'm doing, also the podcast that I'm creating. But it's fun and it's up and coming. So I want to get onto the train. I have 2 and I have 1 left. So if you want to give it to anyone else, you know, let me know. But we'll see. We'll see if there's a lot of interest in this or not, right? Okay. But anyway, I got to go work. Thank you for watching this. It's been more than an hour. It's been almost an hour. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys a little bit more down the road. Yeah. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. See ya. Clubhouse is an app. Yes, Erica, Clubhouse is an app, and it's pretty fun. Download it and check it out. And if you need an invite, just DM me on Twitter, okay? Bye, guys.